Yo, right guys, it's GameboyLuke here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sword and Shield video. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the potential starter evolution for Sobble. Now, you know, a couple days ago, we uploaded a rumored leak video about a final evolution for Scorbunny, and of course, you know, after much deliberation and, you know, the rest of it, it was deemed fake, pretty much. You can even go back to that video and check it out. We basically debunk it, but also kind of provide information as to why potentially maybe that evolution could have been real. And obviously, I sit on Twitter pretty much all day. I know what's going on, and I see a bunch of people tweeting out a bunch of stuff. What's been a hot thing as of late, since the Gen 8 hype is here, is that people are posting really cool art for potential evolutions for the starter Pokemon, because we don't know what they are yet. An artist by the name of Sifyro has actually created some really compelling concept designs. They are really good, they're well made, they look gorgeous, and I wanted to share them with you today. Of course, I do want to credit them for all the art that you see in this video, so their link will be in the description below. I highly advise you go check out their work. They are a fantastic artist, and definitely deserve more eyes on their work. But with that being said, why don't we jump into the first piece of work they have, and that is this middle stage evolution for Sobble. Obviously, Sobble is based off of like a lizard or like a chameleon sort of thing. You can see when it first comes out of the water in the trailer, it's kind of like transparent, translucent. You can kind of see through it, but you can also still see like the outline of the Pokemon. So it's based off of a lizard or a chameleon, like a color shifting chameleon. At the same time, you could argue that other water type Pokemon such as Vaporeon have this ability where they can kind of shield themselves in the water. Based on Sobble's design and the way that he looks, you can kind of already get a gist of the direction they're going to go with this Pokemon. As you can see from Sifyro's design right here, we're getting a more, you know what, I don't expect for Sobble to go in this kind of direction, or initially didn't think this, because I feel like he's quite a small boy. My initial thought was that Sobble was going to retain his size a little bit. Maybe he would only increase in size by a marginal amount. And maybe this Pokemon is smaller, right? But it looks like a big boy. Very big Pokemon, but at the same time, I can also see that it would go this direction. Especially with the tongue. I definitely see this, especially with the whole chameleon, like lizard concept. I love the design. I love that, you know, his two little pinky fingers, they turn into, you know, claws, and then he starts to sprout wings off of, like, almost like wings, like off the sides of his arms and stuff to match, like, the head. Of course, we're retaining the emotion that Sobble has, with this, like, sort of, like, crying, you know. We've seen a bunch of fan art, I'm sure you guys have seen it on Twitter, that Sobble is, like, constantly sad and stuff. And that obviously it's just, you know, that's down to the name of the Pokemon. I think that's kind of like the emotion they're going to. He seems like a very timid and fragile Pokemon. So this design looks fantastic. I love the way they've gone, and he keeps his sort of like hunched form, you know, where he's kind of crouched down and, you know, hands out sort of thing. Like, I love this so much. I more or less want to talk about the final design for this Pokemon though, which is this. Now, this is gorgeous. Now, it's still on its hind feet. It kind of is. It's super reminiscent of the Loch Ness monster. And I know people have been saying to me, like, hey, just because it's in the UK doesn't mean all the Pokemon are going to be based off of UK lore and stuff like that, right? But this direction, dude, I love Sobble, right? But if this Pokemon, if it goes this way, it's going to be one of the best final Evos I've ever seen. And I think one of the biggest problems with getting excited about potential evolutions and stuff like that for these starter Pokemon is that I feel like we're building up an expectation for ourselves, because I feel like this right here is perfect. I feel like this right here is perfect, and I'm worried now that if Pokemon do something, it's not gonna be this. So Sifyro has literally nailed it on the head right here. I love this design. I love how it's kind of like, it's kind of concept of, it's kind of based off of like Nessie, and even like you can think about Dory from like the Mario 64 and Mario Odyssey. In the water, it's like, it's got the fins and like the flat arms that work as like fins, and limbs that help them move through water. But on land, they have the big feet, they have like the hind legs, they have the you know, the big legs, they can stand back and they can fight. And I love like the idea down here on the bottom right where they have like the arms glowing blue for like water attacks and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of water moves that you can maybe like throw in here. I mean, you know, they have the projectile water type moves, but physical water type moves, I can't even think of anything right now like that's a physical water type move, but you can imagine physical type water moves. Like Waterfall, for example, could like, you know, glow up the arms and they can fire projectiles with their arms and stuff like that as well, which is very, very cool. This design, you know, in general, just looks fantastic. And the middle evolution, you know, normally I don't like the middle evolution for a lot of Pokemon, but this is like the maturity stage, and you can really see that. It is really, really well done. Like, if you had the confidential, if Sifyro literally went and copied, like, the way, I mean, they've done a pretty good job of doing it already, but if they copied the confidential stamp and just threw this out there as a random Japanese Twitter account and managed to get their Japanese correct, I'd believe this for a second. Honestly, in a heartbeat, I'd be like, if this is it. This is it, Chief. Like, this is 100% what we're getting. They are fantastic, 100%, and I really, really hope that this is the direction that Game Freak goes, if I'm honest with you. As for the direction of this design when it comes to this Pokemon's typing, you know, I originally thought that Water Psychic was going to be the wave for this thing, generally because of the way, like, it went transparent in the water. Like, it was the only thing we really had to go off of, you know. After looking at this, I can quite easily see the direction that they go Water Dragon, because Nessie, again, a big monster dinosaur looking thing, could definitely be written off as a dragon type, 100%, especially with the way this looks. And we've never had the dual typing of dragon as a final evolution in Pokemon for a starter type, for a starter Pokemon, sorry. And I can definitely see that going that direction, especially with SOBBLE. SOBBLE has like one of those, the initial look of it is quite frail and small, but those sorts of Pokemon, I feel, end up radiating the most potential when it comes to their progression through their evolution line, which, you know, again, pushes this even more. With this Pokemon, I can see it definitely being like, there's arguments for why it could be both physical and special, I think, because like, highlighting this part of this body, it might be more of a fast physical hitter, but it could also be arguably a special, a more slow special attacker too, because its lack of movement on ground. So either way, we could see like a different side of this Pokemon. I kind of like that it's retained its like sort of like personality in this image right here. And what I would like to see from this Pokemon would be that it's still kind of timid and sad, but when it gets into fight, it kind of converts its sadness to strength, and its anger, like kind of demonstrated by its like emotion here. Maybe when it gets to its final evolution, it is no longer timid and sad, but becomes a more confident attacker and is more like confident in its skills and stuff. Like, I'm more or less thinking about how it would be portrayed in like the anime, for example. But yes, and like in Pokemon and me and stuff like that, and just the way you can always tell, I think they've done a really good job at like how they animate Pokemon in like the 3D models. You see a lot of the Pokemon's personality come out in its attacks and stuff like that. So, you know, again, more of a confident Pokemon. And I also think that, you know, with Pokemon Sun and Moon, they started giving their Pokemon signature moves. I don't think we got one in Generation 6. I think we may have. There might have been. There was the Trapdoor move from Greninja. There was Mystical Fire for Delphox. I don't remember the one for Chestnut. But with Generation 7, we had, you know, Darkest Lariat for Incineroar. We had the Water type move, the Voice move, Sparkling Aria for Populo's final evolution, which was Primarina. Then we had the Spirit Shackle for Decidueye. Now, when it comes to this Pokemon, I feel like maybe another starters for Generation 8, that they're going to be given different kinds of signature moves. I don't even know where I would start or where I would even begin when it comes to speculating that kind of stuff with this Pokemon. Siri. So I don't even know where I would start with speculating for this Pokemon's special move, or signature move, sorry. But like you can see kind of like here we have a kind of like water tornado thing going on here from its tail. So I'm assuming that with its long tail, maybe it can create like whirlpools, and we get, let's not make it signature move Whirlpool, because Whirlpool sucks, but can we get maybe, I don't know, I don't even know what a word we would name it, but like some sort of really strong cascading, like it's kind of like the water type Z move where it creates that Hydro Vortex. So can we get like maybe a dumbed down version of Hydro Vortex as a regular move instead of a Z move? You know, that's kind of what we get here. Other moves, I feel like, you know, it's going to get Aqua Jet and stuff like that, you know, Hydro Pump, Aqua Tail because of its long, massive tail. Bunch of potential with this Pokemon, in fairness. But no, yeah, I wanted to share this art with you guys because, again, it is fantastic, and I definitely think you guys should check out the artists. They've been posting some fantastic art. They even posted, like, I think it was like a mystery dungeon piece as well. I won't show it on screen. I'll let you go over to their Twitter and check that out for yourself. But yeah, thank you a lot to Sifyro for letting me use their art in this video as well. Let me know what you guys think of this design. I know a lot of people have mixed thoughts on the final evolution for Score Bunny video we did. But I think this one will be taken way better because it does look super, super badass. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below. It's very, very exciting to be able to talk about potential evolutions and stuff. It's just, I like the conversation we get to have about these Pokemon and stuff like that. So please do go ahead and let me know what you think. Or if you don't like it, then what would you like to see from SOBBLE and its potential final evolution? Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time.